Give me just 10 minutes. That's all I'm asking. Because I guarantee, by the end of this story, you're thinking about English, success, and confidence will never be the same again. Let me take you to the moment when I couldn't speak even one word of English. There was a time in my life when I used to feel small, not because I was poor, not because I had no talent, but because I could not speak a single sentence in English. I remember standing in a room full of people. Everyone was talking in English, confident, fluent, smart, and I was standing in the corner, silent, ashamed, invisible. I wanted to speak. I had ideas, but words, they got stuck in my throat. Not because I was weak, but because I had never learned the language the world listens to. And then, one day, someone laughed at me. I had tried to say something in broken English. They smirked. That day, I made a promise to myself, not to prove them wrong, but to prove me right. That yes, a boy from a small town, with no English medium school, with no fancy coaching, can speak the language of the world. And let me tell you something honestly. Learning English changed my life. Not just for interviews, not just for jobs, but for respect, for identity, for confidence. I didn't want to become British. I just wanted to speak without fear, to express my thoughts, to ask questions, to answer when someone asks me something. English is not everything, yes, but in this world, it opens doors. It gives you entry to platforms where people are heard. It gives you the power to sit at the table. It lets you learn anything, talk to anyone, go anywhere. And most importantly, it makes you realize you were never less. You were only unheard. When I started learning, I made mistakes. Tenses, grammar, pronunciation. I failed at everything. People laughed again. I was slow, I was awkward, but I was consistent. Every day, I watched 5 minutes of English videos. Every day, I repeated one sentence again and again. I am learning. I am improving. I will speak. And one day, I recorded a video. A small one. 30 seconds. Speaking in English. Listening to myself. And saying, look, I can do it. If you're someone who's scared to speak, if you think, I'll learn tomorrow, then I want to tell you something today. You don't need perfect English. You just need the courage to start. Start with one line a day. Start with saying, I want to learn. Start with watching this video again until you believe. Because in this world, confidence is silent, and English is a strong tool, not to show off, but to stand up, to speak, to dream. You are not behind, you are just beginning. And I promise you, one day, someone will hear you speak and say, is this really the same person who once didn't know English? That day will come, but only if you don't give up today. This is not just about a language. This is about unlocking a version of yourself you've never met. So before I end this talk, let me give you one simple, powerful tip. If you really want to improve your English, don't stop at motivation. Start your daily listening practice. Even 10 minutes a day can rewire your brain. Listen to English stories, conversations, speeches, anything. Because listening is the first step towards speaking. And when you listen, don't just hear the words, frame them. Understand the sentence structure. Ask yourself, why did he say, "I have been learning," instead of "I am learning"? This is how your brain builds English from the inside. No shortcut, just steady effort. Now, before I close, let me tell you a short story. A story that isn't just about English. It's about life, practice, and time. There was a boy who wanted to become a cricketer. He had no bat, no shoes, no coach, just a wall, a tennis ball, and a dream. Every evening, after finishing school and helping his father in the fields, he would throw the ball against the wall, again and again. People laughed, but he kept playing. 1 hour every day, in sun, in rain, in silence. Years later, he stood on a stage, holding a trophy, and the world called him a genius. But only he knew it was not genius, it was practice. Because remember this, success doesn't come from talent alone. It comes from doing one thing daily, when no one is watching. And you know what? The greatest people in the world were not born great. They became great because they respected one thing: practice. Let me remind you what a few legends have said about it. Bruce Lee once said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." That's the power of repetition. That's the power of mastery. Virat Kohli once said, "I may not be the most talented player, but I hate losing, and I'll work harder than anyone to avoid that feeling." He built his empire not on luck, but on consistency. Eminem once said, "The truth is, you don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. Life is a crazy ride, and nothing is guaranteed. So whatever you want to do, start it today, not tomorrow." APJ Abdul Kalam Sir said, "If you fail, never give up, because FAIL means first attempt in learning." He was a newspaper boy who later became the president. That's the power of time plus effort. Steve Jobs once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." Every second you waste on self-doubt is a second lost from your future. These legends didn't have it easy. They weren't born with magic. But they had one thing: daily, painful, boring, consistent practice. And that made them unforgettable. If you're still watching this video, it means you're serious, and I respect that. Now don't just stop here. Take the next step. Start listening. Start framing. Start speaking, even if it's just to yourself. Because practice will give you progress. And progress will give you power. Thank you for listening. And I hope you remember this talk, not just as motivation, but as a beginning.